My Lords, before I turn to the amendments moved by my noble friend Lord Hodgson, which I support, and I commend him as well for the very comprehensive way in which he introduced them, I want to say briefly just a few remarks about public expectations of the charity sector more generally. Because when I became chair of the Charity Commission in 2018, public trust in charities was at an all-time low. And I should just reassure the House that I'm not the chairman of the Charity Commission anymore. I haven't been for the last 4 years. But at that time, we carried out some extensive research, and what we learned that in terms of driving that public distrust in the sector more broadly was, of course, some very serious scandals that had happened amongst some of the higher profile large charities in the preceding years. But it was also, what we discovered was that for many people, charities had also become a sort of another group of institutions which disappointed them because they no longer reflected in their behaviour or operations what people expected or associated with charitable endeavour, or indeed what it meant to be on the register as a charity. Now, this was serious because it was having a detrimental effect on donations. And in turn, of course, when donations go down, many charities, their capacity to deliver public benefit are understandably affected. And what also became apparent from the work that we did was that to remedy this situation, the emphasis from the charity sector, and particularly amongst the high-profile charities that we are all familiar with, was that they needed to be able to demonstrate in how they fulfilled their charitable purposes was in line with people's expectations of charitable endeavour. And if they were to do that, then actually that benefits the charity sector as a whole. It's a bit like, you know, a sort of collective responsibility for the brand that the sector relies on and gives people confidence. Now, of course, that kind of effort, different charities might have responded in different ways, but I just put that out there as a sort of just a bit of a context. Turning to the specifics in terms of the Royal Albert Hall. Now, long before my arrival at the Commission, for about, I think it must be getting on for about 15 years in total now, the Hall and the Charity Commission have been in discussion to resolve the anomaly of its governance, as my noble friend has described, which allows for its trustees the potential to gain personally whilst they are members of the charity board. And what the amendments put forward by my noble friend do are very limited, and as he has already said, and it's really important to emphasise this, they do not in any way fetter any seat holders' property rights. They simply bring the Royal Albert Hall trustee board in line with other charity trustee boards. Now, I won't rehearse the history of the ongoing discussion between the Hall and the Commission, because I did that at second reading. But I will repeat my point that it was surprising for me, and indeed I do think it takes some audacity for the Hall's trustees to bring forward a private bill to change some of its governance without addressing the issue which is so important and has remained unresolved for so long. In today's modern world, the public rightly expect transparency and accountability from public institutions that exist in their name and enjoy tax breaks and reliefs at their expense. If those same institutions resist meeting the public's expectations, they put their own standing in jeopardy, and in the case of charities, risk damaging the sector as a whole. My Lords, the Royal Albert Hall is a fantastic venue with a proud history. It's associated with so many national moments and indeed lots of personal memories too. Accepting this amendment won't harm the institution. It will be to its benefit and credit to its trustees.
Yeah. My Lords, I'm grateful to the noble Lord Hodgson, for moving this amendment and for having had the skill to devise an amendment which is within the scope of this bill. I would be failing in my duty